Here with Billy Bazar, who's a comedian out of, I met you in Miami, Oklahoma.
Yes.
But you are not from Miami, Oklahoma.
No, I'm originally from South Carolina, but I was a military brat. So
South Carolina, bounced around. Mm-hmm. You've been, you're in San Diego now. I'm having a drink. I'm having my usual Jameson. My partner here, when I met you, you drank.
Yes.
And you stopped.
Yep.
You stopped? Good for you. How long?
I'm coming up on 18 months.
Damn, good for you.
I wasn't a big drinker then, but my thing was opiates. So like I just tried to wipe it all out for a while.
Go big,
I'll probably
go big or go home.
You know, I'm not going to say I won't ever pick up a drink again because I never was a big drinker. Like I appreciate a good scotch, but I'm in no rush to. Because
not any big rush to go back into making decisions.
Exactly.
That screwed crap up for you before. What was it? Let me ask you something here, because now you're in Denver, which is a great comedy community over there.
Mm-hmm.
What was your tipping point when you stopped drinking? Was there one isolated element where you're like, I can't?
Well, my tipping point for stopping,
or even
pills,
opiates, I should say.
Okay,
too.
It's a story I want to translate on stage one day, but this is a true story. I bought pills from two different people. One of them was a good friend. He was like, I can't do it no more. So I was like, well, I'm going to get it from this other guy. Well, he is deaf. And I'm sitting there. I was in court. You know my ex-wife Courtney.
Right.
She.
So your drug dealer was deaf.
Yes. And
okay.
Usually we would communicate via text, but he's very impatient. So I'm sitting there one day, and this is a true story. I get a phone call, and it's like dead silence for like 30 seconds, and all of a sudden I hear, "Excuse me, my name is Rebecca. I'm a relay operator." And it doesn't hit me at first. I'm like, who the hell's calling me? It's a relay operator. And so she was like, I have Chris on the line. And that's not his real name because I'm not a snitch.
Right.
But, and so she goes, I said, Chris. And I was like, wait a minute. And I looked over at Courtney and I said, can we cuss? This fool is trying to sell me pills through a relay operator. Because that's the only thing I could reason to call him. So I was like, what does Chris want? And then she says, well, everything he says I'm going to repeat. So she goes, how many do you want? And I'm like, son of a bitch. So I'm like, wrong number.
What's a relay operator? I don't even know what that is.
It's if you are hearing impaired, he would type in on his end what he wanted to say, and then she would say
and they would call you and do it. Wow.
Yeah. And
okay.
There's no confidentiality. So I'm texting him at the same time.
Talking to your lawyer or to a priest or something like that.
I said, dude,
man.
You're trying to sell me pills via a relay operator. And I remember I hung with the phone, I looked over at Courtney and said, I'm done. This is it for me.
How long did it take you before you started incorporating your addiction issues into your stand-up comedy? And how hard was it?
I still haven't. I'll bring it up,
right?
But I want to do. My goal is next year to have, with everything that I've went through the last year and a half, even like the past when I tried to get clean. I want to have that be my set,
right? Without
preaching about it, but just with all the crazy stuff that I've seen, And that was for me. I just was like, this is crazy. Like this dude's trying to sell me pills via a stranger. And he doesn't realize that we were both going to go to jail. So I just kept saying, wrong number, not me, wrong number. And I'm texting him, what is your problem? And then he's like, and the messed up part
and the relay operator would call you back and go, what is your problem?
Well, no. He does, this is going to sound bad. He would do voice to text. So you can imagine. So I would just get these garbled messages, and I'm like, oh shit, he's talking to the phone.
That is so funny.
So he straight up tried to sell me pills, and 2 days later I was in Utah.
Well, you're sitting on a gold mine because I just watched the Richard Pryor documentary called "Omit the Logic," and it was talking about his act and what he did, and it showed snippets of him, and obviously his stuff. I mean, he has plenty of jacked up stories to share. So aside from that, any other crazy stories that happened while you were going through all this stuff, or since you've been going into recovery?
Since I've been going, that's actually a good question.
These are all good questions.
Yeah, this is true. The master. You're not a club. You're not a club comic, so you're a pro. I would just hear crazy stuff like in groups.
Right.
I mean, for a whole month, I just every day would tweet stuff I've heard in rehab because it was unbelievable. You know, there was a woman one day that she had just checked in, and you can tell the drug of choice just by certain things, and we automatically knew this is meth.
Right.
And she had patches of her hair missing, and straight up goes, I got high on meth and I wanted to trim a mustache. She had no facial hair at all. She just, yeah. And I was like, this is gold. As long as I don't say their name, I'm not violating HIPAA. And it was just every day. Like one woman, she, you were supposed to share her name, and I'm probably violating her HIPAA, but she straight up said, my name is one of the princesses from Frozen.
Okay.
That was her name. And she
Okay.
goes, I don't have to go any further on why I started drinking. Because she goes, I'm a kindergarten teacher. So, yeah. So the kids every day.
Look, I don't blame anybody who teaches kids
yeah.
for drinking.
But apparently every day they would beg her and cry until she sang Let It Go. Because her name is the same as whatever the princess's name was.
Oh, God, I can't.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
I should know. My daughter's dressed up as her.
I
Yeah.
can't. Not Ariel, but it's
Elsa.
Elsa.
Yeah.
Elsa. Okay. Wow. All right.
So,
Listen, if I had to deal with kids every day, I mean,
yeah,
I'd
would be
have a half
mainlining
gallon of
heroin.
whiskey.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, I'd be nodding off.
Let's not judge these
Exactly.
people.
But yeah, it was just crazy stuff like that, and and then on the dark side too, like I hate saying this, but since I started, my first place I went to that this has been successful so far, knock on wood, but it was in Utah, and then I went to San Diego and was there for quite a long time, and
Right.
in fact, I'm getting ready to go that way and reconnect with some of them. But I've lost 19 people that I met, and for me,
That's sobering, no pun intended.
Exactly.
I mean, that's when reality really hits you. For you being in the program 18 months
Yeah.
and losing 9 people, I mean, that's...
no 19.
Oh, 19 people.
Yeah.
I mean,
Through
that's...
the two places, and a lot of it. I mean, by no means you have to be ready to go through with it.
Right.
And for me, hearing these
19
words,
19 people. I don't even want to sit near you.
Yeah.
You're like a black cloud.
Well, I mean, if you're not.
Well, this is it. This is the last one that I'm doing.
Yep.
This is my last guest.
Blame it on me.
Suck it. Bye.
Candyman. So, but no, I was told my very first group I did in San Diego, there was 10 people in this room. There was 10 of us, and the guy straight up said, "One of you will be sober this time next year."
Right.
It's a 10% success rate, and I
incredible.
I looked at these people and said, "I'm sorry, but it's got to be me," because my heart was going, I was having health issues, and it was just weakening everything.
Well, you look great. Seriously.
I looked better. I know I look better than I did.
I mean, as great
Yeah,
as you can.
exactly,
Given the subject matter. I mean, there's only so much you can do with this palate.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you still look delicious.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
What, you're a huge Michigan fan as we wrap this up. And by the way, follow Billy Bazar on all the social media platforms. We'll go ahead and mention it on our social media stuff. But where can people find you?
On Instagram, at Bazar Comedy, Bazar Comedy. Same also on Twitter, at Bazar Comedy. And on Facebook, you just look up Billy Bazar. And
your Instagram stuff is hilarious. I mean, just the jokes that you put on there, great.
Yep.
Very well crafted stuff.
And if you're interested in following my recovery,
funny dude.
I always
no,
post
absolutely
my updates on there too.
And that's huge. I mean, that's a people want to get to know people. They want to know the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. It's not everything's not all puppies and blowjobs. No. I mean, it's this business takes a lot out of people. Don't you fucking dare.
I wouldn't do that to you.
Let me be the one that puts you over the edge as we wrap up here. What's wrong with you're a huge Michigan Wolverines fan? We connected on that.
Yes.
Michigan football. What is wrong?
The Shea Patterson project's over.
Yeah.
You have a child of a dynasty football family in Dylan McCafferty who should be playing.
I agree.
It's over. Patterson, it's done. He needs nothing against the kid. He's a good player.
Yeah.
But every time McCafferty comes in the game, you can see the whole team rise up.
Mm-hmm. And
it's the shape. If they lose tomorrow, which I think they will, I hope they don't.
To Notre Dame. Yeah, if they lose to Notre Dame,
to be done. He never needs to see the field again unless it's a mop up. The Shea Patterson project is done. It's been done this whole season.
Listen to this guy. Yeah. He knows his football. He knows his comedy. He knows recovery too. 18 months, brother.
Thanks, brother.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Follow this sexy bastard. He's awesome. See him when he comes in your town.